Take a shot at this. So this particular workshop is designed to bridge the gap between the business SME and the IT folks who are going to implement the robotic process automation, which essentially means that both the organizations, if I look at the business process domain people, they understand the business clearly, but they have very little knowledge on the IT sides, and as a result, they are not in a position to uh, provide the right solutions. They are not able to identify the right set of opportunities, and in some scenarios, that how the overall roadmaps which they can actually provide as a consulting to their clients, they are not really in a position to do that. So, and similarly, if I look at the IT side of it, they understand how to implement it, but they are not really in a position to understand that how the business process requirements needs to be brought into this whole umbrella, and then finally it comes to the implementation stage. So this particular course which we have, this particular workshop which we have designed is actually trying to bridge the gap between the two. This has got primarily five components. The first component essentially talks about what are the different automation technology levers we have. And there is no IT background which is required. This is just that these are the set of different technology levers we use, and this is how we use these different sets of levers. How the architecture and some of the design principles, which is more business specific, that how the implementation roadmap is going to look like, what kind of design principles we need to adopt. And all these design principles are not really very technical, because in this particular workshop, we are not going to touch any of the RPA product per se. And the third most interesting aspect is the business process assessments. So you give any business process, like for example, in case of healthcare, if we talk about pre-authorization process. Now, in this particular process, the business SME workforce understand this particular process very well. They know that how the various nitty-gritties of this particular process. But as soon as they acquire certain skills on the automation side, they will be in a better position to carve out the solutions out of this. And the reason why I'm talking about this is they need to just understand the methodology and the processes to go and look at these processes from a different lens, so that they will be in a position to identify the right solution. And this particular third vertical of this whole workshop is very critical, where we are translating these business processes into the automation solutions. And then the next aspect is that how we should really deliver it and how we should provide support towards it. Those are the various nitty-gritties associated with it, because it's not all hunky-dory where we know that we'll just go and deploy this. There are certain limitations, there are certain set of best practices which we need to adopt while we go about it. So at the end of this particular workshop, I expect the candidate should have complete knowledge on the robotic process automation implementation. They should be in a position to look at any of their business processes and say that whether I should go for RPA or any other particular lever, or should I not go ahead with this? How should I go about delivering this? So they will be in a position to shape up their solution and have the right level of discussions with the IT set of people. Having said that, even for IT people, this is important, because they sometimes they get so much into the technical details and they don't understand the business aspect of it, and as a result, this automation really is not working. So it's automation subject itself is a combination of both IT and business SME, and this course is actually bridging these two different set of verticals.
So Nishant, to put it in a nutshell, or let me paraphrase my understanding. So, me as a business process expert, if I had to go through this training program that you're delivering, this is going to help me look at a process holistically and figure out whether a number of process steps within this particular process can be automated or not. If yes, how do I capture the requirement and then how do I pass it on to my IT team? Is that what this workshop is going to equip me? Is my understanding correct?
That is around 60% of this particular course. You are right.
Okay.
And this will also help you identify that which process I should not touch and which process I should touch with a different design pattern so that we can accomplish more benefits around it, because that's something which as a business people we always look forward for IT folks, but they might not be understanding and they are not living these processes day in and out. So that's when, if we get this information at the business level, it becomes really important to actually propose a better solution on automation solution on their business processes. And lastly, the delivery and the support framework, because it's not just we just provide a solution. It's like that, what are the different steps involved as part of the delivery and support, so that we can say that yes, there is a success involved. And throughout the delivery and support, it's not just the IT involvement, there is a business involvement into it. So it makes sense for even business teams to understand the complete approach, the complete life cycle of this whole implementation.
Right. Okay.
So Nishant, one quick question. So when
Mhm.
you're saying that this workshop will also help us in understanding for which business process automation is not the solution, but different design, there are different design patterns for that. What exactly do you mean by that? If you could clarify. I
Uh,
mean,
So, for example, I'll just take few examples in this particular case. Like, for example, if we see that there is a huge amount of handwritten data at the beginning of this any particular process, and it's very difficult for us to actually standardize these particular templates and get this data in a digitized format. So, in this process, as soon as we get this kind of patterns, we know that RPA is not the only solution. We can get some portion of it through RPA, and the automation potential may be around 20% or so, but we need to crack this problem of this handwritten document or the standardization of these processes. So those are the different elements which we need to really understand, and in that case we need to apply even the cognitive OCR or some other technology levers on top of it to ensure that we get the better output of our automation solutions. So from that sense, if we get that level of information that these are the various automation technology levers available, these are the business problems we have, and then we can marry the two and can come up with propose a better solution.
okay, got it, Nishant. The other question which I wanted to know is that uh, is there any post-workshop mentoring which is part of this offering, or it's just the 2 days workshop and it ends there?
Currently, we have carved out only these 2 days of workshop, but we will be very happy to get into the next level of our mentorship or the next level of our discussions, because this is again part of our consulting arm, where we are looking at conducting the design workshops, work with you, look at your processes, and identify, carve out the right potentials, right solutions on top of it. Maybe in some cases, we can even look at reviewing your solution so that we can provide you better guidance on whether you should go about this way or some other possible manners. So those are the second next level of discussions. We can definitely get into that.
Okay, got it.
Right. So, Nishant, so as a participant, meaning from the business standpoint, I need not know any automation. All I need to be aware is the logical thinking ability and be able to look and have a depth in the process that I work. So, is that the only prerequisite?
That's correct.
Okay.
I'm not expecting any participant to have any prior technical knowledge.
Right. Hey, does this workshop also, will help me identify, let's say, hey, there are several tools that are available in the market today for the RPA tools. So when I do my processes, so when I suggest it, do you guys also give an orientation of, hey, for a process of this kind, this tool could be better. For process of this kind, can we at least do about 50% of assumption on that? I know that unless you study the entire process, you'll not be able to choose the right tool. But what I'm saying is this also tells the participant, to do this tool, or we need to leave it to the IT team to decide that?
Uh, you can actually leave it to the IT team to decide. That's a separate discussion that who is going to really decide on this. But we have included a small section as part of this workshop where I'll be providing an overview on the complete set of RPA products. That what are the different set of products available in the market, which all products can actually work exactly in the same fashion. Means whichever product you use, you will be able to get more or less a similar kind of results, and how these products are differentiated with each other, in which scenario we can probably go ahead with a different set of solution patterns, so as a result we can go with different set of products. So I have included that as part of my session where for about 30 minutes or so I'll be speaking only on this RPA products, and providing a very high level comparison within these particular products. But once you understand that comparison, you will be in a better position to have that discussion with the IT, because my experience with various corporates, working with various corporates, is like the tool decisions are primarily getting governed by the clients. And although they always ask for our opinion and things like that, we can provide n number of features, comparison, etc. But most of it is actually governed directly by the client. So, but at the same time, if we know the limitations of certain set of tools, we can say that in case if I go with tool X, then I'll be able to get this much potential versus tool B, where I'll be able to get this much potential, what kind of constraints which are there. So at a high level, yes, some of these pointers you must be knowing that as a business person, which I'm going to include as part of this session.
Right. So when you talked about these automation levers and the designs, so that is going to educate me to have a better understanding of what route or what methodology should I have to use. Is that what it is for my process?
Yes.
Okay. Right.
So there will be no training on any kind of, so there won't be any technical discussion per se, right, in this workshop. It is more to do with, you know, helping them identify automation opportunities in the existing business scope.
That's correct. The technical aspects are more included as part of the design patterns, which needs to be understood irrespective of the product. Like for example, when we talk about various design implementation patterns, that if we go with attended automation, then this is how the architecture is going to look like. Versus if I go with unattended automation, this is how the architecture is going to look like. If I go behind Citrix wall versus inside Citrix wall, how the differences are going to be. And those are some very important technical pointers even business should know, and even the IT people should know, that that these kind of variations will actually change your complete automation. So all from which is going to actually be discussed as part of this workshop is that whatever which can impact the automation potential of a particular solution, we'll be discussing all those levers, whether it is technical or non-technical. Only thing what I can say is that I have not included technical levers to the extent where people should be having a detailed knowledge on those levers. Just a little common understanding is fine, which I am definitely going to include, so that in layman terms people can understand that how these different levers are really working out on these various processes.
Yes, and Nishant, will you also like to talk about if in case a thorough technical training is needed, just for not for the business team, but for a technical team, we have other programs also. Of course, for this 2-day workshop, this is what Nishant said is being covered. However, we have other programs if that is the requirement, which delves deep inside the technical side.
Certainly, we have different set of technical programs, training programs for those areas.
Now, as a part of this workshop, meaning as a business person, So you will teach me to come up with how to capture my process in a structured a requirement document. So would that be a part of it also?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. So from my flowchart to my BRD, so those all things will be a part of that.
Correct. So I'll be providing some of the templates, but I'll be talking more about the approach to arrive at the automation potential. See, one of the biggest problem area right now, what our business people are facing is that either they define the process in too much of a detail or they define it at a very high level. As a result, the automation potential they are not able to scientifically calculate. All they do is that I can see that this will give you 30-40% kind of automation potential. That's not the right approach. So what is the optimum level to which we need to start, and how we can then define our solution and the BRDs on top of it is going to be included as part of this session.
So yeah, so this is going to be a little bit of question from this workshop standpoint. Hey, today the pain point that I see that we hear, me and Gargi here from the businesses, are that my guy is identifying a project, or he says that these are all the automation opportunity, but he needs to go and be the door of an automation specialist or an RPA guy, and then at his mercy for implementation, right? So now that the technology has developed so much that meaning most of the codes are you don't need to do an hard code things. You just need to do a plain simple English language, and you can pick up what you want that to be done types, right? So if is there a way that you guys could also help us, or is there a training program that you have to how to create a bot and how to run it or how to maintain it? So do you guys have a training program of that kind as well for a layman? Meaning so he has only limited knowledge, but hey, using this thing, we would be able to create a bot, or meaning or manage a bot or run a bot, or be it attended mode, or be it an attended mode. Can that? Do you guys have something like that, or?
So, in that particular sense frame, what I believe is that most of the people in some of the products, specifically, not most of the people, they are talking about training their business process agents and the SMEs to develop the bots.
Right.
And my experience in this area is actually a mixed stuff, because what I have done as part of this is that I have taken some core IT folks and trained them on RPA and deploy them. Second, I have taken certain BPO agents, actually, not even the SMEs, the delivery excellence side people, the BPO agents, and trained them on the technology aspect. So
Right.
and my results was kind of a mixed, because what I found is that if the BPO agents are having a technical bent of mind, if they understand things technically and if they can actually write a small IT program, those kind of people were able to pick it up very fast and they were able to definitely deploy the bots. But on the other side, the IT folks, they understand the technology aspect. They need to really understand the business process aspect, and that's when they need to go about it. In certain scenarios, business process aspect, they were leaving it, and as a result, we got into trouble. But one thing which I actually identify is that if we put a lead on top of them who is coming from the IT side, who can actually take care of the IT related design and the architecture level decisions, and the business process SME expert on the other side, then the layer can actually be created below them with a set of developers who can be groomed from any part of the organization. So those things are very much possible. Now, how we need to go about this particular training and other things means we can definitely discuss and can work out the training in which product we would like to really go ahead with. Currently, we deal with two different sets of products, Win Automation and UiPath. But I'll be happy to discuss on other products and can include it as part of the kitty.
Nishant, one more ask that we often get from businesses. Maybe it's because they are not exposed too much into how a bot works, or what are the scopes of automation. Sometimes there is lack of imagination also as to which all projects can, or which all processes can actually be automated. So in this workshop, will there be enough exposure or examples or case studies or use cases which will be shared with them, which will trigger their thoughts in terms of, what are the different avenues where automation has been implemented successfully across multiple industries, especially the service industries?
Yes, I'm actually including one specific topic on the business process domains. And specifically for this workshop, I have included two different domains. One is the insurance domain and second one is the healthcare. So in these two different set of industries, what are the different possibilities of automation in various sets of pockets of processes? And I'm going to share a list of processes in those different areas, the possible potential use cases, which will definitely open up their mind that, okay, these are the set of possibilities. And once you closely look at it, you will identify a pattern out of it, that whether it is insurance or healthcare, there is a pattern which is coming up because the customer experience, F&A, HR, the core part of the business, there is a cycle involved, interaction with the third party. If we actually take those concepts at the abstract level, we will be in a position to understand that what are the different sets of possibilities in that area. So even for non-healthcare and non-insurance business domain people, they will be in a position to understand that what should be my first set of processes which I should really be targeting about, and how the different levers can give me different set of use cases. Yes, that's actually included as part of this.